Welcome to my basement, everybody. How are you doing? This microphone will be accompanied by a gentleman we like to call Blake Siefkin in just a moment. Here's what's going on today. We have not done any reviews on the EPN channel for a little while, and we have been seeing things and we've been playing things. We don't have the budget to go into full-on shoot with two people out in the field kind of reviews on the run style, but that doesn't mean that we can't tell you some of
Hi,
our
everybody.
thoughts. Blake has been coming to see movies with me.
How does my audio sound? Do I sound okay?
They'll let us know, I guess.
Okay, let me know in the chat because I
Yeah.
can't hear me right now.
Yeah, let us know how we're doing and how we're sounding and all that stuff. But we thought we would review item by item some of the things that we've been able to partake in and sort of go over some of that stuff.
Sounds good.
Blake and I have been, I think, pretty busy for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Cranking out content and the rundown, and we did that trip to San Francisco together. So we've been having a good time, but we've been pretty busy and pretty focused on stuff.
Okay.
But we've also been going to see movies and stuff.
Akamaru, my old friend, says that the sound is great, so I'm going to take his word for it.
Awesome.
So from here on out, if I sound too quiet or too loud, it's his fault, not mine.
Okay, sounds good. Look at this. We have the plaid uniforms on. This must be the electric playground. So
If I actually didn't know we were doing this today. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have worn something other than plaid.
okay,
but
all right. I have
Just saying.
I have this shirt on. Should I show my shirt here?
Yes.
Should I show that shirt off? There we go. How's that? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's a little better, yeah.
Is that a little
I
bit
guess
better?
I have a white shirt on underneath this.
No, hold on. Look, it looks like we're stripping here. 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a jacket on. Talk to the
Look at
people.
this. Okay, so how's everybody doing today? How's your Friday? Did you like our interview we did earlier? I'm here all by myself. I don't know what to say.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, Deadpool.
It's not easy, is it?
Hey, I'm Victor Lucas.
Yeah. Try that
uh,
for a second.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Deadpool pretty quick, I think, right?
Yes.
But go see Deadpool. Spoiler.
Yeah. Who's going to see Deadpool? Let's find out from our chat poll here right now. Who's going to see Deadpool? Is this better?
Well,
Who knows?
this is 30 seconds behind.
Okay.
So I can let you know in 30 seconds.
Okay, we'll see. We'll find out. This is Vader fighting Luke in Bespin, by the way. So I've got a little Star Wars moment happening right here.
That looks way better, actually. the
Okay.
jacket. And now
All
that
right.
now that I have this open, it looks better too.
Okay. All right. Cool. Fashion faux pas here on EPN. Okay. Well, let's talk about Deadpool. You guys are going to see it. Jose and I talked a little bit about it in our chat yesterday, and definitely do watch that. It was a lot of fun catching up with him. And if you haven't seen his chat with Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller, you got to check that out too. It's
And
awesome.
I'll link it in the chat right now, actually.
Okay, fantastic. So Deadpool, I was a little nervous, man. I got to tell you, when I saw all of the marketing blitz and the hype and all of that stuff, they were obviously working hard to get our attention, and they were effective with that. But I thought, what are they?
I was apprehensive about this movie ever since it was announced.
Yeah.
Because
It could have gone off the rails.
yeah, the Wolverine movie with Deadpool back in 2009 was so terrible.
Yeah.
And this movie just felt like it was going to be a cheap sort of let's crank this out to make a quick buck kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was very skeptical going in.
Yeah, and I, you know what? I've never heard you laugh so much at any movie that you, because Blake has always come. Whether I would go to a movie with Marissa or Scott or all three of us or whatever, Blake would be coming to the movies quite often as well.
Yeah.
Never laughs.
Yeah, I don't like to laugh.
Never really cracks a smile or looks like he's enjoying himself in any way whatsoever. But he was laughing out loud. You were actually giddy watching this movie.
I
You
don't
were
know.
kind of beside yourself, entertained by everything that was going on there.
Yeah,
It
I
was
wouldn't
cool.
go so far as to say that I was giddy.
I'm gonna go so far as to say as you were giddy.
Okay, maybe
you
I
were
was a
you're
little
freaking giddy.
I was
but
like half giddy.
you've kind of fell in love with Ryan Reynolds, as you do, I think.
Well,
in-
I
in
was
Deadpool.
already in love with Ryan Reynolds to begin with.
Okay. It's hard not to fall in love with the guy. Look at how awesome he was in that interview too. But he is the perfect Deadpool. He is fully committed to the thing. I think what he did is he looked at what Hugh Jackman has been giving to Wolverine, even through kind of crappy movies. He has been amazing, consistently. He is a great Wolverine, don't you think?
Oh, you're talking about Hugh Jackman?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's yeah.
He's perfect in that role. I mean,
Oh yeah, as there have been some movies he's been in where he's kind of
not as
the
Wolverine.
great- Yeah, not as Wolverine, but he's good in the shitty Wolverine movie.
He is good all the time. He's consistent, and I think that's what Ryan Reynolds said he's got to do with Deadpool. He's got to fully commit to this thing and be this character.
Yeah.
And I think he was clearly the driving creative force and and the sort of inspiration, I think, to every other actor and every other performer. And there's some kind of a fantastic first-time director too. This Tim Miller guy, he's never directed
that true?
it. Yeah,
What else has he done?
he's a first-time director. He did a great job with this movie. It looks amazing. It's really snappy. The editing is fantastic. There's
it is. Yeah, he did he had other credits before, but this is his first feature film as a director.
and
That's
it's so
impressive.
competent, man.
It's a really that surprises me.
He's
I would
so-
have thought he would have been a very a good experienced director who knew what he was doing.
No, and I think that's part of it too. There's that hunger, there's that desire to prove themselves
Yeah.
in this thing, and I think they did
no complacency with this movie.
yeah, everybody, and I think Ryan Reynolds probably was feeling a little bit of that. Like he can't Green Lantern out of this thing, he needed to show everybody that he can actually follow through and be one of these leading superheroes.
Yeah.
And he did, and
it's
he's
weird.
great.
It's a weird thing with Ryan Reynolds because he's a big movie star. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah,
Did you want to read the chat in there? Is that what you're trying to do?
yeah. I was gonna start it up.
Do you
yeah.
want me to open it for you?
Actually, I can never read these things.
You can read it here.
Yeah, it's better there.
When you look at Ryan Reynolds' IMDb page, it's
Yeah.
like he hasn't been in as many movies as you think he's been in.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, he really hasn't done that
Well,
many
he's
big
been
movies.
he
right?
dated Scarlett Johansson, and I
He's
think
more
they're
like
gonna
heartthrob
didn't they get married?
tabloid. Yeah, I don't know.
Is
I don't
this?
care.
Are we on Kelly and Michael right now?
I don't know.
In the
who that
morning,
is. I don't know
Michael's
who
the
that
new
is.
guy. He's the new Regis.
Okay.
Okay.
If you say so.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this felt like he had, not just him, but everybody felt like they had something to prove. Like
Yeah.
they knew we were all going to be skeptical and,
Yeah.
fuck this movie. But no, they won me over.
Starts with
And-
the credits, which we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about. Jose
Yeah.
and I did. We're not going to spoil any of that. The credits are amazing.
The opening credits, like not what's happening, but the actual like text of
Yeah.
the credits is really smart and funny
Yeah.
and just had me laughing.
And then it just is carried through all that way. There's actually some warmth to it. You actually care about the characters. I love Marina Baccarin in this movie and the relationship that she has with Wade Wilson. I kind of believed it. They're both two crazy psychotics. They have crazy psychotic sex, and they have a lot of fun, and tragedy befalls them, and they have to kind of work their way out of it. But it's fun, it's convincing, it's hilarious, man.
So it's a very good, very, very good movie.
Yeah.
Best movie I've seen in a while.
It
But
is, right?
We have a job as critics
Yeah.
to point out things that are wrong with the movie because nothing is perfect.
What did you think was wrong
So
with it?
let's I'm going to nitpick here.
Okay.
The story is very simple and straightforward.
Well, it's a self-contained origin story.
Yes,
and
if
it,
you
and
have
it flips
seen-
around with time a little bit.
If you've seen an origin story, you've seen the story of this movie. It's very predictable, very straightforward.
Yeah. But
Which isn't a problem because that's not what the movie's about. The story is just a framework to put the characters and the humor and the funniness of it.
yes,
That's all the story is there for.
the villain
But-
is lame.
Yeah. But if we're going to nitpick, the story is very simplistic and some of the characters, especially the supporting ones, are very simplistic and one-dimensional.
Yes.
So that's my first nitpick.
Gina Carano was kind of
Yeah.
wasted a little bit in this movie.
She was good.
She was-
I didn't mind. The main villain, and they even poke fun at it too. How stereotypical the villain is.
Yeah.
But I'm worried that the fourth wall breaking ha-has in this movie, goofy and silly. I'm worried that is a crutch as it's an
that's
excuse. It's
Deadpool.
almost like, oh, we can get away with having a really simple story because if we make fun of how simple it is, which to me is kind of a gray area.
Well, that's the comedy of it, and that's what Deadpool as a character in the comics would be doing the whole time. So
Yes,
he
but
pokes fun at the budget that they have.
My conundrum, and it's an internal one.
Yeah.
Is that an excuse? Is having a one-dimensional, boring villain
Yeah.
that you make fun of for being a one-dimensional, boring villain? Is that an excuse for having a one-dimensional, boring villain?
That's about as meta as this movie is.
This is a question
But
that
that's
you need to kind of think about making after having seen this movie.
Well,
so that's my first nitpick.
Okay, what's your second one?
I have a second nitpick, and it's the same nitpick that I had with the last X-Men movie, Days of Future Past. And this isn't. We should also point out for people who may not know, this does take place in the X-Men
Yep.
cinematic universe.
Yep. This is the new Colossus, and what's the girl? What's her name?
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's a fantastic
not
name.
in-
Teenage.
Oh yeah.
Hyper.
I'll check.
Okay.
But yeah, is she gonna be in the other X-Men movies?
I think
'Cause
she will.
That would be a funny.
She's fantastic in this. I thought she was hilarious, and they have great repartee because
yeah, she's great. She's really good.
she can't believe the not just the insanity of Deadpool, but the quips and the choices that Deadpool makes, the references that he makes, all place him in a time that she just can't relate to.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, amazing.
Which
I love Deadpool's reaction to that name as well.
Which is a character that has existed for more than 15 years now.
Yep.
Grant Morrison.
I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, they have so much to pull from. But they do...
Vagabond Nights.
They do discuss the absence of other X-Men in this movie as well, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
okay, so here's my,
your other nitpick.
second nitpick
Okay.
that I didn't get to.
All right.
So, and it's the same nitpick that I had with Days of Future Past.
Mm.
This movie plays very fast and loose with the continuity of the pre-established X-Men films.
Yeah.
Meaning it completely disregards
Most of
the
X3.
shitty, yeah.
And
Well, Days of
Wolverine
Future
Origins.
Past, Days of Future Past, disregarded half of X-Men 3, and kept the other half. Whereas this disregards the other half of X-Men 3
they
and
just
completely
hired-
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Totally, but they
yet
just
also
hired-
makes references to it. So
They just hired their Kevin Feige. They hired Mark Miller to oversee everything.
that's fine.
Just
but
a few
if
years
you're
ago,
gonna- if you're
they didn't
gonna-
have anybody shepherding all of this stuff the whole time. So they've been making it up
that's
as
no
they
excuse.
went.
They can watch the movies are on DVD. They can go watch them,
Yeah,
and
but
they've
if-
had the same producing team.
Yeah,
my
but if
point
they
is
don't
that
dig what the choices have
my
been and they
point
get the
is-
feedback, I mean, nobody liked what they did with Wolverine.
No, I didn't like it either. But
Yeah.
here's my point.
Okay.
My point is that this does take place in the same universe, and if you're going to have a movie set in the same timeline and in the same universe, you
Yeah.
should have it. If you're gonna, it should fit into it, and if it doesn't, it should explain why.
I think Deadpool is enough of an aberration, even in
It was
the X-Men
better
universe.
here. It was better here than it was in Days of Future Past.
Well,
Because in Days of Future Past, it completely ruined the ending of the movie for me. Because I'm sitting there like so confused. Like, wait, but they're ignoring X-Men 3 or they're not ignoring X-Men 3. Like they didn't make that clear.
Yeah.
So and they're kind of ignoring the other movies in this too, but they're not. But it's okay because it's the Deadpool character. But it's still something that I was sitting there kind of like thinking about, and you don't want to be thinking about a thing like that. So that's my second nitpick.
That is a big nitpick. That's like a major minutia kind of nitpick on this, because this movie is about
I'm just
just
worried.
irreverence and fun
I'm
and
worried
poking
that,
fun at
'cause
the
this
whole
is not
genre.
the first time it's happened. It happened a year ago with Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
I'm worried that this might be a trend in the X-Men movies going forward, especially with Apocalypse, which could completely reset the
well,
timeline potentially.
Yeah, I will solve
don't
this
want-
dilemma for you.
I don't want them
They're
to-
time traveling in the X-Men universe, so there's loops all over the place. So there are alternate
Yeah.
realities. Solved.
The problem is
Boom.
the problem is you just have to sit back and kind of just go with it.
Yeah.
But
That's what
if
reading,
that's what they want us to do, they should just
that's
tell
what
us.
reading comic books every month is like. Every time they switch up a creator, you're
Yeah,
on this different timeline and a different tack, and
They've
you
only
just
had
get used to it.
a handful of films.
Yeah.
It's not like they've had like with a comic book you have hundreds or thousands of issues. They haven't had that many movies. It's not that
Sure.
hard to fit everything.
Sure. But
into
they've
it.
had some really lame ones, and they've had to kind of react to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Star Drew says Blake wanted more X-Men in the Deadpool movie. That's not what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining about how it didn't fit in continuity-wise with some of the other films.
Right.
But this is a minor nitpick. I still love the movie.
Yes.
I actually kind of like that they didn't really have any X-Men in this movie. They mention them, but they don't really have them. I kind of like that.
They didn't make it a cameo thing.
No, I was actually kind of worried that Hugh Jackman was going to show up every hey, it's Hugh Jackman or James McAvoy or whoever.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they didn't.
Well, it's-
But you know what? Because this movie's going to make a loads of money this weekend, it
now
already
they
broke
will
Thursday
tie.
record.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 will have like a James McAvoy cameo. They'll have the money to get these people.
Something that we talked about in the interview yesterday with Jose is that we now kind of, and I like this idea, is that Deadpool now becomes Ryan Reynolds' character for life. Like he can hang on to this. He doesn't.
Yeah.
The mask fully covers him, so no matter how he ages, he can always voice this character, and they can always make him appear in X movies forever.
Well, and even if he has
he
the
might be in
mask-
the next Avengers movie, the final two. They might throw Deadpool in because they're
Well,
Fox
that's if
Marvel are working together.
If the rumors are true that Fox and Marvel are gonna do a thing, then they could do that. But that hasn't been confirmed yet, so we
Sure.
shouldn't get people's hopes up.
Sure.
But even if he has the mask off, he can do it in 20 years because he has all the Freddy Krueger makeup on. You can make him look the same. Like
Totally.
He doesn't have to. Is Deadpool? Does he age in the comics?
Well, he has some of the mutant healing powers that Wolverine has.
But does that prevent him from aging?
It probably slows everything down.
Okay.
Yeah. It turns him into this kind of...
So there's no reason this could. Sorry. There's no reason this couldn't have worked with the other Wolverine movie with Origins.
Yeah, I know.
They could have had it work, and they just didn't. So that's
They were
a nitpick.
stupid, yeah. They were
That
dumb.
was
So
annoying.
that
That was
was
annoying.
good that they didn't follow that timeline. Erased.
Well, no, they can. There's ways of washing over the bad movies without completely disregarding them.
Oh, yeah.
A good example of this would be like
But they
the
screwed
good
up.
Halloween movies versus the bad ones.
They screwed
don't
up the character.
completely disregard them.
They made him a Deadpool in that Wolverine Origins movie. He looked like a horror movie.
They could have thought of a way to justify it without just ignoring it.
Right.
That's my nitpick.
Still, a massive surprise. Kind of along the same veins for me as Guardians of the Galaxy. That was another movie that I was really nervous about as I was going into it, you know?
I like Guardians better than this.
Did you?
But I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. So
Guardians was great, but I felt in that movie, again, weak villain that really wasn't explored that much. And I wanted to get to know the characters a little bit more. I felt like it was a little bit scattered.
No,
I did really like it a lot.
The villain in Guardians is more fleshed out than the one here.
He's
less formulaic. He's less.
I get that Rowan mixed up with Malekith or Malekith from Thor 2 all the time.
Well, I don't have that problem because I didn't watch Thor 2 after the first time I saw it because that movie sucked.
I like that movie a lot, but I like Deadpool better, I think, than Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have a third nitpick.
Okay,
about
what is
Deadpool.
it? What is
and
it?
again, I love
Okay.
the movie. I'm doing. It's my job to nitpick stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like this,
All
I
right.
go to these press screenings for free. Like I have to do something.
Yeah,
The special effects were not very good.
yeah.
They could have been better. But this is also true.
You can tell
This is
the
true of
CG all
every. This is true of like every Fox superhero movie. The special effects are always kind of janky. They're not as bad as Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because those special effects were terrible.
I can't
They
even
were
remember them.
laughably bad. They're not bad. They're just you look at them and you're like, you can see it's cheaper than an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is understandable because it is cheaper because they were never going to spend that kind of money on a R-rated movie.
No.
So
It'll be interesting
that's
to
a
see
forgivable
what
nitpick.
happens now, though, because Days of Future Past was huge. This is probably going to be very big. Apocalypse is probably going to be very big, and they're going to have to start throwing some more dollars to try to compete with what Marvel's putting out there. Or if they work together, then there will probably be some processes that they share to make all of this stuff look really incredible.
the Frag Out Gamers just pointed out that Nolan North should have had a cameo in this movie.
That would have been great.
That would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been
'Cause
very
he did
funny.
The Deadpool video game.
All right, so what do you give Deadpool then?
9.5 out of 10.
9.5. You were at about a 9 yesterday. And you give Guardians, what, a 10?
Yeah, I would give Guardians a 10.
Wow,
I
that's-
did get. No, I wrote a review of Guardians on the website. I did give it a 10.
A
yeah.
10. Holy crap. I give this one a 9. I think Deadpool gets a 9 out of 10 from me, and I'm shocked.
I'm very tough. Like I hate movies usually.
Yeah,
So I don't give 9s out like every day. So
It's really hard to think of a better way to create this character for the screen. Now, that is, both of us are neither of us are huge Deadpool fans. Like, we haven't read all the books or anything like that. But knowing what we know of the character and the mythology and the process to bring this to the screen, it's pretty hard to imagine a better realized version of this character on screen.
Right.
So
And
go and see it.
Just so everyone's not confused, we're talking about the new Deadpool movie, not the 5th Dirty Harry movie
Right.
with Clint Eastwood, which was also called Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about.
I don't think anybody's confused.
If you were watching for the past 20 minutes thinking that's the movie we're talking about, it isn't.
I don't think Ryan Reynolds was in that. I don't think he was
I
born
don't
then.
think so either. Jim Carrey was in it though.
Oh yeah, hilarious. Okay, we also
it
saw Zoolander 2.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I didn't
I
hate
guess
the
we
movie.
have to talk about
I
that.
didn't hate the movie. Everybody's been ragging on it and comparing it to Anchorman 2 and saying that it's.
It's not as bad as Anchorman.
It's not. It was.
I was ready to walk out in the first half.
Yeah.
The first half is really bad. Like I was ready to walk out.
Because tell
It
me
was just
what.
so
'Cause
terrible. It was just everything. It was just bad.
What
But the second half gets better and it gets better.
what exactly offended you so much
here's
that you
my
wanted to walk out?
here's my big deal with Zoolander 2.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the first one in a couple of years. I may have to rewatch it
Mm-hmm.
to be sure. But I remember the first movie was the characters were really stupid, but it's like they were in a plausible world almost.
Yeah.
And the humor was these two characters are so dumb they don't get how the world works, and like other characters look at them kind of like, wow, you're stupid. Whereas in this, it's like it's way more slapsticky, and the world is as dumb as the characters. So the characters do really logically impossible things, physically impossible, logically impossible things, and no one around them sort of takes notice. Like Owen Wilson gets. Should I spoil this? I actually don't want to spoil this because it's the one funny joke in the movie. One character gets another character pregnant,
Right.
and they're both men.
Yeah.
Okay, and nobody thinks to say, "What, really?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas that's a physically impossible thing that could never happen.
Right.
But
Wow.
it happens in the movie, and nobody.
You put on the analytical hat
Well,
for something
the first
like this.
movie.
Though.
This is why I'm trying to illustrate why it's different.
Okay.
From the
All
first
right.
movie.
Okay.
This is a physically impossible thing that could never happen.
Yeah.
But
I think what's happened
and
is
it happens in the movie, and nobody remarks about. So the world it takes place in is a world where all this zany stuff happens.
I think what
and,
they're
and
saying
that's
is
different from the first movie.
the stupidity of these characters has mutated and morphed into lots of other people. They're also talking about
But it's
the
mutated and
influence.
morphed into the entire world that it takes.
I know.
It takes place in an alternate reality,
Because-
not the first movie
because
where
of-
it took place in like the real world.
No, but because of these idiots, because of their dependence on looking good and being really, really good looking, they now see the.
They didn't even use that line in the movie.
They didn't, but they.
I was shocked by that.
They show what happens when you've got figureheads like that lead a pop culture, because they show all of the subsequent generations of
Now
that.
you're being meta.
No, but they do.
I'm
they
just trying
they
to
show
think-
all of these other
This is-
idiots
I'm
that are
just-
all just
this is a-
completely, victims of
This is
the
why
fashion
it's not.
wars.
That's
It's
why
crazy.
I'm just trying to explain why it's not as funny as the first one.
Yeah.
Because the humor of the first one is that these characters are so dumb in the real world. Now it's like they've done away with the real world, and it's just these dumb characters in this dumb world. So it's like watching a Saturday morning cartoon. Like,
The biggest problem with Zoolander is that the concept was kind of superficial and slight to begin with. I mean, it was a smart commentary on our obsession with beauty, with some really crazy, outlandish laughs. Now they try to recreate those laughs, but they've stretched this as far as they possibly can. And I expected to hate this movie, but I actually was laughing.
yeah, I didn't hate it.
I was laughing at.
I was expecting to
some
hate
of the
it.
new characters. I loved Kristen Wiig in this movie. I thought she was hilarious. I
Yeah,
think
but
Penelope
she's-
Cruz was.
She's good in everything she's in. So.
She was unrecognizable for
Yeah,
big
I
chunks
actually
of it.
I had to
yes,
ask you. I was like, "Is that Kristen Wiig?" I didn't
Yeah.
actually recognize her.
she's playing a parody. I don't know what her name is, but she's playing the parody of fashion icon that's got a really kind of mutated face and a weird
Yeah.
from all the plastic surgery and stuff. And
Oh,
the
yeah, I
fake
know
tan.
the character.
Yeah.
There's a real person like that. That's
Yeah,
just gonna be
and they have real fashion icons in this, and I think that's kind of the problem, is that unless you really give a crap about that stuff, and frankly, probably most of our audience, most of you guys really don't care about it. We don't really care about it. You're not really.
Well, clearly,
along,
I care about fashion.
Well, you're
My
not
plaid
along for the
shirt,
ride all the way.
My white T-shirt.
And all those cameos the first time were kind of original, right? That was the thing that the first Zoolander had, is it was fresh, it was nuts, and everybody was just figuring it all out, and we'd never seen a sort of a parody of the fashion world like that before. And also everybody was, new still. The stuff that
Yeah.
Will Ferrell was doing, the stuff that Ben Stiller was
Yeah, Will
doing.
Ferrell wasn't a big movie star yet. That's right.
That's right. So it was
Neither
all
even
like.
was Ben Stiller. He hadn't been around for very long.
Well, yeah. Now they're all
Now
a
they're
little
all
bit
kinda-
a little oversaturated. We've seen these guys play types of characters not too dissimilar from this many times over. Ben Stiller especially, but still, I laughed. There was still some really funny little
I
bits in there.
chuckled probably 5 times. There's
There
a
was
couple
more
of
than that.
chuckles.
There was more than that.
I never really laughed.
I really dug Penelope Cruz. I think she
good.
she kept up with everything.
She's a good she's a real actress though. Like
Yeah.
she knows how to act.
Yeah, it was fun to watch her on
Here's
screen.
the thing though.
Yeah,
Deadpool
yeah.
is a far better comedy.
It's a way funnier movie.
Just forgetting action, just as a comedy,
Yeah.
Deadpool is infinitely superior to Zoolander 2. So if you're looking for a funny movie this weekend, you should see Deadpool and not Zoolander.
Yeah. And you know what? The fame-chasing BS of Zoolander is exhausting as well. Like all the cameos. Like obviously David Bowie wasn't in this one, but other famous
Why not?
pop stars.
Why couldn't they get David Bowie, Vic?
Well, they could have. I mean, they shot it a while ago.
No, he's been done. No. Let's not go there.
They shot it a while ago,
But
and
he's had
he
cancer
was
for 2 years.
he was
Oh,
a
whatever.
great part of the first movie, and they just try to
They
recreate a
have
lot of that
Sting.
same stuff.
I guess if you can't get Bowie, Sting is kind of better. But
Well,
they had like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Justin Bieber ever.
I didn't hate the movie. It just felt a little superfluous, a little unnecessary,
Unnecessary is a good
but
word.
not distastefully unnecessary like Anchorman 2. Like Anchorman 2 was
Yeah.
kind of poisonous. It was like, what the fuck are they doing to this great franchise? I was just
I didn't hate
shocked.
Anchorman
I was
2 as
shocked
much
by
as you did.
how bad Anchorman 2 was.
I didn't hate Anchorman 2. It was a bad movie. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it as much as you do. So I don't.
Okay, Zoolander 2, what do you give it then?
4.9.
And we don't do .9s.
I can't give it a 5.
Come on, give it a 5.
Okay, I give it a 4.5 then.
4.5.
There's a 5 in there, so
I'm going to give it a didn't hate
no,
it.
that's way too
No,
high.
I didn't hate it.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
that
Do
it's
not, don't,
it's
don't.
it,
You know
no,
what?
it's-
Don't pay to see this movie. Don't pay to see this
you
movie.
don't have to pay to go see Deadpool
Just
for
see it
sure.
on when it's on Netflix.
Yes.
In 2 months, just watch it.
Well, yeah, when you see it on video for sure, and I think what you're going to find is that it actually will make you laugh a little bit. It's stupid. It's you didn't need this
don't
sequel,
see it sober.
but you don't have to see it in the
I'm not
in the theater.
advocating any anything, but
But I think the hate on the movie that I've been reading and the vitriol I think it's a little too severe. I think that they actually did work to build some funny gags in there. And one of the characters that I like the most.
oh, sorry. When we said that Sting is in the movie, we don't mean Sting the wrestler,
No.
and we don't mean Frodo's sword
Okay.
either. We're talking about the police.
Trying to
Sting.
make sure that the whole demographic understands what we're talking
So
about.
I think some people don't know who Sting is.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, that's a part of the problem with this movie too. But they make fun of that all the way along. Is people that have been in the game too long and long in the tooth with this stuff. I thought that was pretty good. I like the new designer in there that doesn't make any sense whatsoever and just confuses them all the way through. I think he did
Which character?
DJ
Oh, the
Atari
hipster
or Don
one?
Atari.
The hipster one?
Yeah, he was funny.
He was funny.
Yeah, he did a good job.
That's
And there's
good
some
actor.
supporting
There's
bits
some
in there.
good cameo. They're not.
Fred Armisen is in this as the
I'm
weirdest
not gonna
role.
say who my favorite cameo is because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, see, it's better, right? Now it's
No,
earned
it's still-
that
it's still-
5.
no,
Maybe
no,
you'll
it
think
hasn't
about it a
earned
little
that
bit
5.
more.
It's-
You'll let it
it's-
gestate. Maybe
it's
you'll get
only
up to a
because
6.
of that. It's only because of that
Okay.
that it's a 4.5 instead of a 3.
I think
so.
the heat of Deadpool and how much love you
No, I
have
saw
for
it a
Ryan
week
Reynolds and his
apart. I saw
butt.
them a week apart. We saw Deadpool like 2 weeks ago.
It's clouded your judgment, and you just don't know how fun that Zoolander 2
Zoolander 2 is not worth seeing.
It's okay.
If it's on Netflix in 3 months and you need something to watch in the background while you're cutting vegetables, sure.
Okay.
Don't go see it. Don't pay to see
Good
it.
vegetable cutting comedy.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about some games.
We still had other movies.
we do, but
we
I
wanna
think
talk about those.
let's see.
They're already out, so screw them.
No, I want to talk about them, but let's talk about some games, and we'll
Okay,
talk
let's
about the movies
Let's
first.
talk games.
Okay. Unravel. Let's talk about this. Now you've almost beat it. Jose beat it. You talked about it.
Well, I don't know how long it is.
Not like 9 chapters.
Okay, I'm about halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far, my friend?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
Tell me why it's really good. Why do you like it? You like the Zen?
It's zen. It's whimsical. I like the art style. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
The lighting, the design of everything is just gorgeous.
It's very chill.
It's very charming. I really like. I keep falling in love with Yarny.
Yeah.
When his little animations, like he'll fall and hit his head, and I'll go like, "Oh, sorry, Yarny." It turns me into like a little girl, basically. This game. The puzzles they make you think.
Yep.
The problem is we were playing like a pre-release review copy of the game, so we couldn't Wikipedia or
Do you do that really? When you get
sometimes.
stuck? Yeah.
Yeah. But we couldn't do that here because we were playing it, so I had to actually sit back and think about the puzzles.
Yeah.
No, it's a good game.
It's not a game, and I've been playing it. I'm trying to get a little bit further in the game. It's not a game where, at least for me, you can just kind of whip through it. It's not very long, and if you're great at it and you understand all the physics, you're going to be able to go for it, and do all of the stuff. But for me, and it's kind of the same way that I felt with Limbo. Some of the ways that you solve puzzles.
That light isn't on.
Oh, it's not on.
We gotta
Kind
turn
of
it
drive
off
you
soon.
crazy, and
There we go.
I've been a little bit frustrated, man. I've been kind of screaming at the TV,
Yeah,
going,
but
"Why
that's
aren't
the
you
point.
pulling that thing? Why? Come on, this
You're
is
supposed-
ridiculous." You
the-
restart the stage over and over and over
A
again.
horror movie is supposed to scare you. A comedy is supposed to make you laugh. A puzzle game is supposed to leave you puzzled. You're supposed to not know right away how to do
Sure,
it.
sure.
This is a puzzle game. You're
It's a
supposed to sit there and
platformer,
have to
too.
try to figure it out.
It's a platformer
It's a
as well.
platforming puzzle game.
Yeah, and you're using the yarn obviously to kind of loop it around different objects, and you're pushing and pulling and tugging on things and trying to make jumps that you can't really jump, so you have to use the rope physics to swing. It's a physics-based
Yeah.
simulation
It's a
as well.
A physics-based platforming puzzle adventure game.
I think my challenge with it so far, though, is that I know what to do to achieve what I want to do, but the controls and my connection with the controls
I haven't had that problem.
hasn't been effortless.
I haven't had that.
So I've been like, no, I got that. Come on, let me get that jump. You haven't had that?
I've gotten used to the controls. It's more just for me trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem with the controls.
All right. Well, I've drowned my little Yarny so many times, and I've been so pissed off. But it's also not a game you can. I cannot rush through the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's not meant to be. The entire design of it is meant to like make you chillax, right?
Yeah,
it's like
not
it's like
chillaxed.
taking an Ambien. Or something.
so not
You're
ambient up.
supposed to sit back.
So bitter
and
and
take
angry.
after work, take a deep breath.
Just yelling
And
at the
just look at this
screen.
cute little character running through this whimsical Dutch or
Yarny.
Belgian. Where does the
Yeah.
game take place? Belgium?
I don't know.
It's some Eastern Europe.
It
some
sure is lovely, though.
Northern European
I
country.
love the music, love the aesthetics. I played the first couple of chapters I streamed it, and I had a really nice time, and a lot of people were watching, and it was fun, all of that. But then, it was starting to grate on my nerves. We haven't played enough
sorry.
that we can score it
We
yet.
got to
though.
talk about the price though, because I was shocked to find out that it was $20.
Why? That's
Well, that's the same
That's a
price
rea-
as Firewatch.
right.
You think Firewatch is this big open world game?
Yeah.
Unravel is a good game, but it's smaller and more self.
I think it's
don't-
worth every penny of $20 for sure. Absolutely.
Or
Huh?
maybe Firewatch should cost more. I don't know. This is-
I've
for
beat
me,
Firewatch, and you
the
can ask me
fact-
about Firewatch, and
the
I think
fact
that's
that
priced
Unravel-
perfectly as well.
The fact that Unravel and Firewatch are the same price it just shocked me.
No.
I gotta say that.
They're absolutely priced at the right price point, both of them, because and it's not about game time, and it's not about genre. It's about the experience and the escapism. Firewatch is a great $20 spent. I have beat
Yeah,
that
it is.
game.
But maybe Unravel should maybe be 15.
No,
EA?
I think it's worth $20 for sure. I think a lot of love went into the game, a lot of style, a lot of design, a lot of puzzle kind of implementation. It certainly evokes a lot of other types of genres and a lot of other types of games, but it is its own creation.
People in the chat are saying they're surprised that Firewatch is so cheap, so I win.
You've got to play Firewatch.
I've not played it yet. This
Yeah,
is true.
and you have not played it, and I don't think a lot of
I
people.
also a lot of people are talking about The Witness because it's obviously another new puzzle game. I
Wit-
haven't had a chance to play that yet.
We
either.
haven't played that, and it's mostly because
It's
well,
mostly
we've been
because-
busy.
It's mostly because I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 nonstop, which I always do.
Well, I've been playing. I beat Firewatch. I've been playing a bunch of other things as well. We're playing Fire Emblem and XCOM and stuff like that right now. A little bit of Mario, but Firewatch, I think, is absolutely appropriately priced at $20. It's not a super long experience. It's not as open world as you think it's going to be.
Okay.
It is a gorgeous environment. It's a beautiful, beautiful, atmospheric, literate, charming, heartfelt, escape. But it also is a game that kind of makes you imagine more and kind of want more. It's a little ambiguous, and it leaves a lot of sort of open threads and a lot of questions unanswered. And it's a very mature adult experience. It's not about combat. It's not about killing. I did find myself very, very, very tense in a few spots in the game, though. Like really, physically feeling chills down my spine. Like, can I deal with this intensity and this pressure right now? Because it was spooky.
I was surprised at Unravel. You do get to kill things.
Oh yeah.
You get to lock a crab in a cage.
Yeah.
So fuck that crab.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. It's like, yeah, I get that.
Limbo
Indirectly kill that crab.
I think the analogy with Unravel is Limbo, and Limbo I think was around $20, wasn't it? When it first came out?
Something like that, yeah.
I
Maybe a
think
little cheaper.
I think that's a pretty solid price point.
Yeah.
9 chapters. The chapters are meaty. It's a solid looking console experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to come down, but I think if you want that Unravel, and same with Firewatch, if you want that Unravel, if you want that Firewatch right now, that 20 bills, that's money.
Well, you've been watching Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
I got these 20 bills.
I have been watching some shit out of Compton. But Firewatch is definitely a remarkable game, and I'm not going to forget it. You know, it's definitely a really, really beautiful piece of art. I wasn't so fulfilled that I was like, oh my God, I've never played anything like this, and nothing can ever compare to this. But it was really wonderful. You know, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a really, really lovely experience.
I give your 8.5 out of 10. It's 8 out of 10.
All right, you got to see it. You got to play it. You haven't played it yet, but you will. And I'm curious to hear if people have been playing it.
A lot of people in the chat are saying they're all talking about The Witness.
Yeah, The Witness is.
Oh yeah, JBJ Blaze has been playing it. He cried during the intro.
I cried during the intro for sure.
I cry sometimes.
Don't talk about the intro, okay? The intro is an incredibly important part of Firewatch. Don't stream it. Don't ruin it for anybody. I do suggest
the intro,
that everybody.
That's where Han Solo gets killed.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and The Witness is on deck. I want to play some of that. I want to attempt that. But all I read from all my friends that are playing that is great exasperation and frustration because the puzzles are so damn hard in that thing. That does not scream out, oh my God, I got to rush into that and start playing that thing right away. Especially when I'm stuck in Unravel.
Mm-hmm. We another game we both played recently is Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
It's Mario and Luigi.
What did I call it?
Mario.
Oh, whatever.
It's Mario. Internationally, it's Mario.
I give that 4.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay, so
we don't score everything, buddy. Okay, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
We just uploaded an interview yesterday.
Yes.
That we did in San Francisco.
Yep.
With Nintendo and getting an update about the game.
Yep.
I've played about 5 or 6 hours of this game.
Yep.
I played it at the airport when, thank you Air Canada, we showed up at the airport for a 7 a.m. flight.
Yeah, we were
so
there
we were
at 7:30.
there at 5:30.
Oh, 5:30, yeah.
We were there at 5:30, and then they delayed the flight an hour, and then they delayed it 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah,
so
and the day before, they had changed the flight from 8 to 7.
That's Air Canada.
Yeah.
But long story short, I was sitting at an airport for 8 hours with nothing to do, so I played through most of that game.
Right. Or a big chunk of that game. It's a big game.
Here's my problem with it. Mario and Luigi Paper, or Mario, am I saying it right?
It's Mario.
Okay, whatever.
Yep.
Paper Jam is a combination of the Paper Mario games and the Mario and Luigi games.
Yep.
So what it is a turn-based RPG with quick time.
This is your first experience with either one of these brands, right?
I played one of the Paper Mario games ages ago.
Okay, all right.
I think on the GameCube.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, so what it does is the combat, for those of you who don't know, combines real-time or turn-based strategy combat with quick-time, real-time events, kind of like in Mario. What Mario is best at, jumping and hitting block and whatever.
Which is
for me, I hate this because it's like the worst of both worlds for me.
But it's the only way to interpret Mario into an RPG format.
Maybe Mario shouldn't be interpreted into an RPG.
But because
when I have a turn-based combat, it's turn-based. It's like playing chess. You can take as long as you want in between turns. There's no. You don't have to be on the edge of your seat.
Right.
You can sit back and relax. You can go to eat dinner, come back. You don't have to like pay attention to it, right? Whereas this, it's that slow-paced turn-based thing, but at the same time, you never know when one of these. Oh, I have to hit the thing is going to come.
Yeah, it's a timing-based deal.
It's the worst of both worlds for me.
I just totally disagree. That's what's typified these games in the marketplace. They've almost created their own kind of genre. A timing-based, turn-based game is pretty damn slick. Now, my hesitation over
it's polished. It's a very slick game. I'm just saying what they polished isn't something I would want.
Where I'm a little bit disappointed with this is that the story is just not that fun or gripping or thrilling. I mean, everybody's kind of confused with each other.
Actually, I didn't mind the story.
The flat 2D characters are confused with
the gist of the story is that the Paper Mario universe gets crossed with with the not
Mario and Luigi, yeah.
So Paper Mario shows up. All the versions of the characters
So
show up,
everybody
and they're all
thinks they're
confused.
twins, and
Yeah,
then they got to go and
there's
chase
some
a
cute
bunch of the
dialogue.
toads,
I
and then
didn't
they're
mind
lost
that.
all over the place.
I didn't mind that.
I found that I was repeating a lot of the same stuff over and over again, and that kind of drove me a little bit nuts. Trying to chase these toads all over the place. But I like the paper craft battles that are in there, where you get these giant
Those are cool,
paper craft kind of creations.
Do
And
you know what those reminded me of? They reminded me of the tank battle.
They're like
in-
tanks, yeah.
The tank battle in Assassin's Creed 2.
Right.
You
Yeah.
remember those when Leonardo da Vinci makes, or was it Assassin's Creed the one after 2? I don't know.
I liked. It also reminded me of Odama. It's
the
an
Admiral
old.
from Battlestar Galactica.
No, not Adama. Odama. I think it was Odama. It was a GameCube game where you actually shouted. It was kind of like a pinball type of experience where you shouted commands and you had characters running all over the place. You're basically in control of a bunch of little characters holding up a giant papercraft thing. And
Odama, the president.
no, not Obama. Odama. You've got it right there. And
I'm not on Wikipedia right now.
no, of course.
I don't use Wikipedia.
That's a very
to
handy-
make it look like I know what I'm talking about.
Very handy website. It kind of reminded me of that. So you're controlling these little characters as they're holding this giant paper craft and they're chasing each other around and beating each other up. That was fun.
It's the
There's
one thing in the game where you need the second thumbstick.
that too, yeah. There are fun bits in the title. I just felt like it was a little underwhelming to throw in all of these disparate parts, these successful franchise titles that Nintendo's had for a long time, and it just wasn't. It wasn't capturing me. I was playing it, getting through it, getting to the next stage. It's almost kind of fairly linear. You have to do a little bit of backtracking. You're going to miss some of those jumps, which are all sort of timing based. You
Yeah.
press each one of the buttons
Yeah.
in sequence, which is they kind of glue the characters together. Now you've got, they've done it before where they've had two
they all kind of
variations
run
of Mario and
one
Luigi.
right behind the other, and you can either make them jump all at once, but it's a half jump.
Yeah.
And if you want to make them all jump high, you have to go A, Y, X, or whatever the buttons
Yep.
are. And it's hard on your thumbs.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's unique about the mechanics of these games, though, is that nothing plays like this. So it's fun, but you also, as an RPG, you got to bring a story that you're really concerned with and you really care about. And it doesn't really deliver on that.
I don't
point.
mind not having a story that I care about in an RPG.
I don't know.
I really
mean,
don't. I don't get why an RPG has to have a story, like a big, in-depth, boring, confusing story.
Well, it has to have both. It has to have mechanics that are interesting. It has to mix up the combat so that you're not just doing the same routine over and over again. But it also has to have a story that you kind of carry around with you. I think. I mean, there's so much. That's what our interview with Eric Peterson from Nintendo was about yesterday. Was so much RPG choice just on that 3DS platform. You got to bring stories that people are going to care about. But
Okay.
we haven't played enough that we can review. We still have to keep playing
I
it.
played half of it.
I'm going to keep playing it. You want to score it right now? What are you going to say?
7.
Yeah?
7.
Yeah, I want to play it some more. And I'm taking off for a few days, so I'm going to be playing that. I'm going to be playing Fire Emblem. I've only done up to chapter 5.
You gave me a copy of Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Do I have to play it?
Yeah, play it. Absolutely. You've never played Fire Emblem before, right?
It's not my thing.
You'll get into it. It's really cool. Trust me. Trust me. Trust everybody that's played Fire Emblem who are all going to chime in right now. It's an amazing game. It takes time. It takes a little bit of patience. You're going to lose characters that you care about in the game that you have leveled up, but it's really cool. It's the same thing with XCOM. When you saw XCOM, was that something that interested
No,
you?
I don't mind that.
It's very similar.
But it's all crazy Japanese with these crazy characters.
They're
and this
crazy,
weird,
yeah,
this
yeah.
weird design and
I think this one is the most elaborate of the portable games that they've ever done so far, with really amazing artwork, and I think it's also going to end up being one of the most accessible and a huge one.
Okay.
All right, so
People
play
are
it.
asking me about Bloodborne in the chat. I played Bloodborne.
Yeah,
I didn't finish it because it was too hard.
it's so hard.
But Bloodborne's not a bad game. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
You can't go rob a convenience store and then drive away in your monster truck in Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's a game that I keep plugging in and playing and appreciating, and I really dug it when I reviewed it, but it is so excruciating. You know, it just beats you down. That it just feels like you don't get
It feels
anywhere.
like self-flagellation. It feels like what Leo went through making The Revenant.
Yeah, a little bit.
You
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
good.
Like-
Yeah. You have to carve out so much time because you know you're going to get to there and then go back to
I just
here and
wanted
then
to
get back over
kill
to there
Tom
and get
Hardy
back
by
to
the
there.
time I was done Bloodborne.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's how angry it makes you.
that's how angry it makes me. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about. Was there any other games that we've been playing recently?
GTA Online.
No, we can't
The
review.
new
them.
modes are really cool. By
The Valentine's ones.
no,
that
the
we got?
drop zone mode.
Okay.
You drop out of a plane and you have to capture a landing point.
Awesome.
It's really fun.
Awesome.
You can hit people with your parachute on the way down.
Do you want to ask me questions about The Expanse? This is one of
Do
my
I?
new favorite TV show addictions out
The
there.
Expanse is a very dangerous region of space in Star Trek.
Is it?
Yes. The name of the area. It's where the Xindi live.
Okay, cool. Well, in this show, The Expanse is
There's shows other than Star Trek?
There are, yeah. This is a great sci-fi show with one of the coolest things is that it shows the effects of space travel on humans. And
So what is The Expanse about?
it's
Because I'm not going to Wikipedia just now, so I need you to explain to me.
sure. Let's see how close I come to the Wikipedia because it is
What? I don't have the Wikipedia page.
it's
open. What are you
a
talking about?
convoluted plot. It's based on a series of books, or at least one big book.
Hang on.
But-
GTA is worth rebuying on the PS4, if only so that you can play it with me.
There you go. Very nice. If you've got a PC, you've got to see GTA 5 on a PC running at high spec.
But if you get it on the PS4, I'll play with you.
It's cross-compatible, isn't it? PC, PS4? Okay. I'm thinking of Rocket League.
No, it's not Rocket League. Rocket League's worth getting too.
Yes.
I'll play that with you as well.
Well, The Expanse is kind of a little bit of a film noir type thing. Thomas Jane plays a detective type that's sort of stuck. He's like a pulpy kind of detective. He's trying to solve a murder, and then he gets embroiled in this huge conspiracy. But basically, it is Earth and Mars are at war with each other, and resources are being mined on asteroid belts. And there are citizens that are called Belters that are kind of the laborers of this new space age that humans are
This
all
was a movie
existing
that
in.
had a big presence at Comic-Con.
Huge, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I remember.
And this is a property that Sci-Fi has been kind of touting as their new Battlestar Galactica,
Okay.
and it does share some of the production quality and production values. Some of the spacecraft, you almost sometimes feel like you're going to see some cast members from Battlestar just land and doors will open and they'll start walking through.
I see cast members from Battlestar every day in Vancouver.
Yeah, they're
You'll
walking.
be walking
around.
down the street, like, hey, it's that guy who had a line in one episode.
Totally, but it's even a little. I mean, the thing about Battlestar is, at least at the beginning, it really was just about humans on the run from these robot invaders, the Cylons, and they were disguised and stuff. But this one is a little bit more intricate. There's a political intrigue happening in there. There are spies. One of the spies is played by Elias Tefexis, our friend, and
Our friend Elias Tefexis.
yeah, he's fantastic.
Sounds like this.
Yeah, and he's in about 18 games this year as well. But he's terrific on the show. It's all shot in Toronto, but
Oh.
it's a really slick thing. One of the things that they show off is the effect of being in outer space for so long lengthens bones, and then they show
Right.
some really skinny, stretched out
So
human
is it-
characters, and they mess with their gravity,
it-
and it really affects
It
them.
really tries to take space travel seriously.
It
Is
does.
it kind of like Firefly in that regard? Because Firefly also didn't have faster than light travel, right?
I can't remember. It's
Okay.
not. Firefly, I think, was a little more fantastical in the way that it created and crafted its universe. This feels pretty.
Grounded in reality.
Yeah, it feels pretty real. You know,
I should watch the show.
the
'cause
show
I
is
like
cool.
science fiction things.
The show is cool.
Speaking of science fiction things,
Yeah.
though, there's going to be a really good science fiction show in about a year because Brian Fuller was just hired
Yes.
to make the new Star Trek show.
This made your week, right?
This made my
Maybe your
month,
year.
well,
Comic Con, it'll be all over at Comic Con.
I'm looking forward. I am now officially looking forward to the new Star Trek show, and I wasn't before.
Do you want them to follow in the timeline? Do you want them to be like a
Well, okay, here's the
sequel
thing.
to the '60s
Here's
Star
the
Trek?
thing, and I'm not a lawyer,
Mhm.
but CBS and Paramount had a split in 2006.
Okay.
So everything Star Trek up to that point belongs to both of them. Everything Star Trek after that point made by Paramount only belongs to Paramount, and everything after that only by CBS only belongs to CBS.
Oh wow.
So the JJ movie universe
That's Paramount.
can't be made in a TV show. I
Right.
think. I'm not a lawyer.
Well, Kurtzman's involved with this though.
But the thing is, he doesn't own that, even
Okay.
though he wrote it. So I don't think they're legally allowed to set it in the JJ universe.
But everybody's partnering now.
Yeah, they might
Everybody's
work
playing
something
that
out.
game.
And again,
It
I'm not a
doesn't-
lawyer. I'm not
It
an
doesn't
expert on it,
behoove
but
anybody to have
I
two
think if
competing
they-
Star Trek
if
things
they
out there.
do set it in the JJ verse,
Yeah.
they'd have to work it out something. But which is fine for me because I don't want it set in the JJ verse because JJ verse sucks.
Well, maybe Star Trek 3 is going to be so shitty that
yeah.
Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto will be ready for television.
Or they'll just do a Deadpool and pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
But I want an intelligent, fun, action-packed, but also very smart Star Trek show. That's what I want.
What if they remake The Next Generation with a new Picard?
Well, I hope they emulate the tone of that show because that show was brilliant. In
Yeah.
that, you'd have a comedy
I mean, we
episode
have a
and
new
horror
Kirk and a new
episode.
Spock now. Why can't?
I don't know if they need to redo those characters. I would love it set 50 years in the future of the TNG timeline. Then you could have Captain Picard in there, but as an old man. You could have Patrick Stewart back as Captain Picard. I think that would be cool.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Man, that's
And
good.
Will Wheaton, because he has nothing to do, could come back.
He's
as
busy.
old
Come
Wesley
on.
Crusher.
He's doing all kinds of shows.
The thing about Star Trek is that the Star Trek formula is best suited for television,
Yeah.
not best suited for movies. So it's kind of a scandal that there hasn't been a Star Trek show in so
You
so
fucking co-opted my Expanse talk with your Star Trek bullshit.
did, yes.
We don't know anything about Star Trek. It's not until next year.
Okay,
Good
well,
Lord,
go back to the
Expanse is
Expanse.
awesome. Okay, so we've
Sorry.
got this political intrigue on Earth, and everybody's trying to kind of one up each other. Mars
Where's
and
the
Earth.
capital of Earth?
I don't know. Actually, I
Because
don't
in
know.
Star Trek, it's in Paris.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. Thank you.
And Starfleet headquarters is in San
Fucking
Francisco.
Star Trek, man. It's unbelievable.
But the
It's
political
like a
capital is
disease.
Paris.
What do we call this? It's unbelievable. Okay. But the president of Earth is Shohreh Aghdashloo. How do you say her name?
Oh, you're way off.
Shohreh Aghdashloo.
I'm gonna try
Aghdashloo. Okay.
Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Aghdashloo. Yeah, she's got a great.
She's apparently Persian.
She's got a great voice. It's very like she's been smoking cigarettes for a long time, and it's very, very raspy.
So she's like Elias Defexis.
And she's kind of, and she actually hires Elias Defexis, which is hilarious. But she,
She's like, I like your voice.
but she does have that gravitas, when she's dealing with a possible war between Earth and Mars. A ship is exploded or destroyed in the first episode, and a group of 4 of the people that were on that ship managed to escape somehow. They get trapped by this group of Mars sort of military folks, and then they do all kinds of interrogation on them, and then more bad stuff happens.
When does it take place? Like 200 years in the future?
Yeah, I think even a little bit further, maybe like 300 or 400 years in the future. But you know what? It's just an interesting, beautifully rendered, beautifully kind of set up. You really feel like you're inhabiting these different crazy environments. I like that the space stations have this kind of Blade Runner-esque kind of vibe. I mean, it's kind of like a fusion between, like a political kind of thriller with a little Blade Runner, with a little bit of Battlestar Galactica. All of these things, and there's sort of a comic booky kind of pulp thing to it as well.
So
It's great.
what you're saying is that I should watch this show.
It's great. I mean, it
has the
hooks
Victor
you in
Lucas
the
seal of
first.
approval.
Yeah, it hooks you in the first episode. Mr. Robot was fantastic last year. I'm a huge Flash fan, but this is right up there with one of my favorite shows.
Cool.
Of the year. I loved The Walking Dead last year. I loved most of Game of Thrones
Well,
last year.
I need something to watch for the next year until the new Star Trek comes out.
Yeah.
so-
Okay. Yeah. Pick this one up and make it a hit, because I want them to keep coming up with new seasons and new episodes with this one. I love that we have smart sci-fi on the air. It's fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, because sci-fi has been dumb for so long.
I know.
Ever since Star Trek stopped having new shows.
Right. Just Star Trek.
Sorry, my voice got really raspy. I'm like turning into Elias Defexis.
Or how do you say her
or
name?
Shohreh whatever.
Shohreh
Aghdashloo.
Aghdashloo. Fantastic.
Aghdashloo.
Okay, I saw a couple of Blu-rays over the last little while too. One of them was Everest, which Scott and Marissa reviewed for us. They went to the theater. They got into a huge fight about the movie. Scott really thought it looked cheese ball, and like everybody was against
I haven't seen the movie, but
blue screen.
I haven't seen it, but I agree with Scott.
And and Marissa had just come off of her trip to the mountain that she climbed. What was it? What mountain was it?
Macho Pikachu.
Machu Picchu. So she was totally into this idea of braving the elements and climbing up Everest. And I watched the movie and it looked great, but I think on Blu-ray you actually see more of the blue screen. You see the effects even clearer, than if you see it projected on a giant screen. Sometimes things look better.
Hard to say, right?
Sometimes things look better, sometimes things don't, but this one just looked so cheeseball. It looked like, it never felt to me that anybody was in real danger or real peril
I
throughout
don't
this movie.
ever see the drama in a movie like that. Like, we watched The Finest Hours.
Right.
This movie with Chris Pine.
Also based on a true story. The
Which
Everest
kinda
movie is a
sucked,
true
but
story, yeah.
At least that was like the jeopardy was these people are doing their job and then they get in a shipwreck. With Everest, just don't climb the mountain. Just don't climb it, man.
That's-
Like,
that's
if you're
what,
worried about a snowstorm, if you're worried about dying, don't climb the mountain.
That's what Jones said, and it is kind of selfish. Everybody's got selfish motivations for this.
It's not like there's a MacGuffin object at the top that you have to get to save the world or something. Just don't climb the mountain.
And you know what? The main guy, what was the guy's name? Played by Jason Clarke, who played Rob Hall. He did
I
a
don't
good
like Jason
job.
Clarke.
He's good. Why?
I don't like him.
He
He was in Zero Dark 30.
I know.
And that's the worst movie ever made.
Oh come on! That was pretty damn good movie actually, and he was decent
terrible.
in that. And he's a
Worst
good
movie ever made.
He's a good character because they lied. They went fast and loose with
Yeah, I
the
don't wanna
facts.
I don't want to.
Okay, all right.
Just
Okay.
everybody who was in that movie to me now is kind of
Oh come on! That's Catherine Bigelow.
yeah.
That was
Let's
a
not
great
get
movie.
into
What was the Jeremy Renner movie that she did?
The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker, incredible. You hate that one too?
I don't
Because-
hate that.
Because of her?
No.
Because of the politics
No,
and the BS?
that's not. I don't hate The Hurt Locker.
Okay.
I hate Zero Dark 30.
All right, okay.
But I don't want to get into it. But anyway,
And
back to Everest.
Jason Clarke's actually pretty solid in this, and he plays a character. Everybody's it's set in the 80s. Everybody looks ridiculous, weird wigs and clothing.
No, it's
and
set
stuff.
in the 90s.
Or the 90s.
Did you see Josh Brolin with a Bob Dole 96 t-shirt on?
Oh, okay.
So it's mid-90s.
All right, nice. But everybody looks
Boom,
crazy.
I haven't even seen it and I knew that.
All right, okay. Crazy outfits, crazy wigs. But he's pretty smart, and he feels like he can take this group of explorers that really want to reach the top, up to the top of the mountain, and keep them all alive. And of course, it's just human stupidity and
Well, if you want to keep them
arrogance.
alive, just don't climb the mountain. I could do that right now without even trying.
He snakes it up there in between these big storms, and it looks like they're going to do it. But then, of course, a couple of doofuses on the team have to, they're too slow, and of course they kill themselves. Of course they end up
Yeah.
screwing everything up, and then it just becomes this huge tragedy. Sam Worthington
You know
is
where they
fully
went wrong? It's when they decided to
to
climb
go
that fucking
anywhere.
mountain.
That's kind of what you say after you watch the movie too. It's like, why the hell would you ever want to do anything this stupid? But it must be to survive it must be the greatest thrill that you can imagine.
I can kind of relate because in December I went and climbed the White Cliffs of Dover
Yeah,
when I probably really shouldn't have because it was too windy.
yeah. Yeah, it's
So
exactly
it's kind of
the
the same thing.
It's
yeah.
exactly
I can relate.
the same.
I
yeah.
can relate.
Yeah. Okay. Sam Worthington has the most thankless role in this movie. He's ridiculous.
That's every movie he's been in.
He is kind of disappearing before
It's
our
just-
eyes. This guy, isn't he?
It's like the curse of Avatar.
and what's
you know what I mean?
and now Avatar's been pushed back. We still don't know when the release
Yeah,
date is.
Avatar. There's a curse of Avatar, isn't there? Everybody, with the
No,
exception of Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe.
Everyone else in that movie hasn't done anything. Like what happened to Sam Worthington? Like
Yeah.
Sam Worthington was the star of the biggest movie ever made. Why hasn't he been in a million things? But anyway.
All he's doing is fretting in a tent for 2 hours. He's just like wringing his hands, waiting for the radio to ring. I just felt bad for him, Lame movie. I was disappointed. It felt like a TV movie. A ton of actors. Jake Gyllenhaal's in there. It just didn't feel authentic. It felt like a cheeseball 70s disaster movie. Like all of these cameos and stuff like that.
I
But-
like cheeseball 70s disaster movies.
Yeah, but they were having fun back then. This was like trying to, capture some of that, I don't know, energy or something like that. But they're not having fun. They're not. There's no looseness about any of the work in
Got the
this thing.
song from the Poseidon Adventure stuck in my head now.
There you go. Very nice.
Thanks for
But
that.
those movies were pretty critically railed against when they came out. I think it's only in retrospect when you watch them.
No. The first Airplane movie was nominated for Best Picture.
Airplane?
Yeah, the one with Charlton Heston in it. That was the first disaster movie.
What was the comedy series? That was the Airplane was the comedy
Oh
series.
no, Airport, the one that Airplane is a riff on.
Right.
That was nominated for Best Picture. I'm not checking Wikipedia.
No,
I know
you
this
don't.
all
Airport. No.
1970, yeah, with
Really?
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. With Charlton Heston?
Heston was in one of the other ones.
Okay.
It was Burt Lancaster and Dean Martin. And it was nominated for Best Picture.
Crazy. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah. I saw it on VHS ages ago.
Holy crap.
And it was set in 1970.
I've seen the Poseidon Adventure and Towering
and it's
Inferno.
because of the success of this film that they had a million disasters.
But those movies were, they were just fun because of just the carnage that you would see on screen. You just can't believe that all of
there's
this
human
stuff.
drama too, because you have all these white celebrities that you're afraid are going to die.
Right. It was kind of like the Love Boat Run Adrift, though.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not that big
I
of a
don't want
deal.
Burt Lancaster to die.
Okay, and the other movie that I saw, we didn't see it. We didn't review it last year. I think it came out at the same time as something else that we reviewed that we probably hated, and we thought we should have gone to go see this anyways. Instead, was Straight Outta Compton, which I enjoyed, but it did feel a little bit. You haven't seen this yet.
I haven't seen. I don't want to see this movie.
It feels.
I don't care about rap, the genre. Like I really don't, and I don't want to be the white guy who doesn't want to sound racist by saying that he liked that movie. So
that you didn't like the movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend that I want to see it, just when I don't. So.
I'm not a huge rap aficionado either. I listen to rap. I have some rap albums for sure, but I wasn't an NWA consumer, you know. So
I don't like rap.
I've heard the tunes. I've in my life, but it was interesting to kind of get at least a sugar-coated kind of version of some of the stuff that went down. I gotta say that the actors in this movie that played Eazy-E, Jason Mitchell, Corey Hawkins, who played Dr. Dre, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. especially, because we've seen Ice Cube in so many other things.
We didn't IMDb that. We knew all those names off by heart.
They're right here. I got them right on my phone. But all of those guys were perfect. They were really, really good, man. Especially because
I'm sure it's a fine movie.
At the end of it, you see all of the interviews about the way that the movie was made. This is on the Blu-ray, and it's incredible. And it's not like an impression, but it's just they got the intention and they evoke these characters, these people so well.
Yeah.
O'Shea Jackson, especially.
The problem
really,
for me is I don't care
really,
about rap musicians.
Right.
So I don't care. I don't want to.
And it doesn't quite go far enough. I mean, it's pretty horrific what happens with the Eazy-E, if anybody, you know, and the way they sort of go through his sort of story and it's tragic and it's awful. But they don't really go far enough into some of the heinous stuff that these guys have been accused of, or some of the things that have been thrown at them, to kind of explore the full sort of level of some of the drama that could have been sort of brought in there. And the other thing is Paul Giamatti.
He's in that movie.
Yeah, he's in there. He's kind of like the manager guy that kind of breaks these guys and helps them sort of have a professional career, but then he screws them.
He's the white savior character?
Well, he's an asshole in the movie, but he's just, I don't know, I wish it had been an unknown actor. We've just seen this guy so many times in so many different things.
You say this a lot. Like you have a problem looking at a movie and accepting it, and not seeing the celebrity in it. I never have that problem. But I can forget that I'm looking at.
I don't have that problem all the time. But in this particular case, I would have preferred somebody I didn't know.
You have to admit that he was perfect in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh my God.
He became that role.
That was so awful, man.
He became
so
that role. It was so wonderful. I forgot that I thought he was.
When
the
he
Rhino.
came out as Rhino, that pretty much sealed the deal. That was like probably when the Sony executives just called up Marvel and said, "Yeah,
Marvel, help us.
It's yours, guys.
Kevin Feige,
it's,
come help
have
us.
you seen this fucking Rhino? It's
Disney,
all yours."
We need you.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I like Paul Giamatti. He's good.
He's good. Yeah.
He's a
he
really
was good
good
in that
actor.
stupid earthquake movie with The Rock.
He was good in that. Yeah. See, there was a time where it didn't matter to me that his celebrity was in there. I like that movie, that San Andreas movie, for what it was. That was a disaster movie that didn't take itself seriously. That was like lifted right out of the 70s.
Like I said, disaster movies can be good.
Everest, no, not so good. So that's a pretty good chunk of the things that we've been watching and seeing.
Is there anything else
so see Straight Outta Compton. Don't see Everest. See Deadpool.
See Dead. That's your homework for this weekend.
Play-
Pay to see Deadpool at the theater.
Play Firewatch. It's worth it. It's worth the purchase. I'm still unconvinced, not super convinced about Unravel. I'll keep playing it, but I am enjoying it. I'm loving XCOM 2, and I'm loving Fire Emblem. I've got a lot more to play on both of those games, though.
Someone's asking me about Bone Tomahawk. What is Bone Tomahawk again?
Is that from Far?
I'm
Primal?
not googling it.
Oh,
I haven't seen this yet.
is this in theaters right now? I think it might be.
Yeah, it's the new Kurt. It's the movie. It's why he had all the facial hair for the Tarantino movie. Oh, Sid Haig's in it.
He had this already before he did the.
I think he must have
Hateful
shot
Eight?
it before the Hateful Eight. Yeah.
So you had
I have
the
not
face
seen Bone
fur.
Tomahawk.
What are they saying about it? Did they see it?
No, people are asking me about it.
No. Did it just open? It's a horror western. That sounds cool.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go see that then.
That sounds awesome.
I was gonna take my mother to see Hail Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Oh, that was the other movie that we saw.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
I predicted it would get a really low cinema score rating though.
And did it?
Because it's advertised as a dumb comedy, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
really smart.
Yes.
Not terribly funny, but still funny because it's a Coen Brothers movie.
It's a love letter to show business, and it talks about how politics and religion and everything is just it has been infected by show business, and it's an inescapable thing.
It's all showmanship.
It is, right?
There's a lot of different interpretations of this movie. I
Mhm.
think yours is the best. I'm not just saying that. I talked to a lot of other people at the press screening we went to. Everybody has a different interpretation of this movie.
Yeah.
I think yours is probably the closest.
I mean, it's a wonderful tale, and it looks like one of the most expensive Coen Brother movies that they've made, with all of these different mini movie sequences that are in this
No,
thing.
True Grit was more expensive.
Which one?
True Grit, because that was a
Oh,
period movie that
okay,
had horses
yeah.
and all kinds of
Sure.
stuff.
Oh God, that was amazing. And this is certainly no True Grit, but I really dug it, and
It's a
I
good
thought.
movie,
The kid that's in here, the cowboy, the singing cowboy, who I've never seen before, he's terrific in this thing. I forget what his name is.
I'm gonna remember it.
Channing Tatum does a pretty admirable job. This is probably out of theaters already, right?
Oh yeah, it bombed.
It's
bombed.
sad. It's sad
'Cause it's a
because
smart movie
It
and
was really
people-
good,
yeah.
and Josh Brolin is great as kind of this. He's like Ray Donovan. Have you seen the Ray Donovan
Alden
show?
Einrich. I
Al-
just remembered that.
Oh, you just remember?
That's
Just
the
came
name
to
of
you?
the cowboy kid in the movie.
Alden Iron.
Alden
Ehrenreich and Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, we just remembered that off the top of our head.
He's amazing in this movie.
He's great in it.
He plays a
He's
dumb
perfect.
cowboy that kind of gets caught up in this mystery in
But
the
it's
film.
a Coen Brothers movie, so he actually becomes he's like the Francis McDormand character
Sure.
in Fargo.
She's
He's
also
dumb, but he's completely he's what's the word I'm looking for? There's no moral ambiguity to
He's
him. Like,
hapless. He's virtuous.
He's very virtuous. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the guy who does the right thing.
It was a wonderful surprise. It sort of twists and turns and goes in all kinds of weird ways. Josh Brolin plays this. I don't know if anybody's been watching that Ray Donovan show with Liev Schreiber. That's a great show as well, where he's kind of a fixer in Hollywood. This guy helps to run a studio, and he's got to solve all kinds of problems. It's set in the 30s or 40s.
No, it's the 50s.
Is it the 50s?
Early 50s.
Okay, so we've got this sort of gleamy white gloss of Hollywood over everything. Everything's a little bit too shiny and fake.
Well, that's Hollywood, though.
But crazy, right? Like the glamour kind of era.
No,
of
that's Hollywood, though. You watch Sunset. Oh, that reminds me. There's a shot in the movie that's right out of Sunset Boulevard, but whatever.
I think there are lots of like love letters to movies.
Yeah.
You know, lots of great composed shots. Roger Deakins is the cinematographer. It's gorgeous. It looks
great
incredible. Yeah.
Pay to see Deadpool and Hail Caesar.
Sure.
'Cause they're good movies that need your support.
And pay for a season pass on The Expanse. Buy Firewatch. I'm going to go ahead and recommend.
Buy me dinner and you might get lucky.
I'm going to recommend XCOM 2 and Fire Emblem. I think both of those games. Fire Emblem doesn't come out for
And
another week.
I
though.
would recommend Helldivers because it's free on PlayStation Plus
was
this
pretty
month.
fun. That was
it's
pretty
a great
fun.
game, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Especially if
pretty
it's
fun.
free, you might as well play it.
Yeah.
And
Anybody got any questions for us?
I mean, I was kind of answering the ones that popped out. They're just kind of arguing with each other.
Okay, what are they arguing about?
I don't know.
Who hates each other right now?
Do you guys think
Hi
Unravel?
DJ
will get a-
Technoid. Hi Vagabond Nights. Hi Tyler
Hi,
Talks Games. Hi
everybody.
JBG Blaze.
Do you guys think
Rin Rin.
Unravel will get us a physical release?
Do I think Unravel will get
I mean,
a physical
I would-
release?
We don't know.
No. It's weird right now, right? With all of these download codes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we are still getting the occasional game here and there, but it's codes. It's code crazy right now.
Yeah.
It feels.
And yes, I am playing Helldivers.
It feels less. Not. I mean, obviously less tangible, but there's that collectible element of getting games that I'm missing it. You know.
Somebody on YouTube just said that the guy on the right is so negative. Lol.
Is that you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That makes me happy.
that's
Should
Blake, ladies and gentlemen. Blake
Is
Siefkin.
that it for this week?
You
Is
should
that
have.
all we have to talk about?
That's it. You should have heard him
we
chuckle and
didn't talk
chortle
about
with
gravitational
Deadpool.
waves.
Yeah, that
We
was
didn't
cool.
talk about the most important scientific discovery of the past 100 years that happened this week.
Bitchin'. That was
Watch
awesome.
the rundown if you wanted more. Of it.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
So are
yeah.
we done?
We're done. Let us know
Okay,
what you
thanks for
think
coming,
of
everybody.
the rundown. Thanks for watching.
You gotta wait here because I gotta go over there.
You gotta
and
go over
turn it
there.
off.
I'll just keep talking. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be nice to your mom. Stitcher.
Good night.
Good night.